Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to a new episode of our program Islamic Law Today. It's a great honor to have you with us here today, and as always, alhamdulillah, it's a great honor to have our dear guest, Professor Muhammad Naeem Saie. Professor Muhammad Naeem Saie is a professor of Islamic law at a number of American Islamic universities. He's also a member of the Fatwa Committee of AMJA, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America. Professor Saie, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan marhaban.
My dear brothers and sisters, we'd love for you to join us in our conversation today as we continue to talk about the topic that we began last week, the topic of innovation, bid'ah in Islam. And what is the real definition? Professor Saie has given us a deeper understanding of bid'ah in Islam, that it doesn't only encompass what we mainly know as the acts of worship, but it is an issue that focuses not only on the acts of worship, but on the entire Muslim ummah and the entire Muslim community. Today we continue to talk about this topic, inshallah, and would love for you to join us. You can give us a call on the program at 002-0238-555, 248 or 249, anytime during the program, inshallah. Or you can send us a message on Facebook at facebook.com/Islamic Law Today. You can also send us an email at islamiclawtoday@huda.tv. Professor Saie?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ahsanallahu alayka. Jazakallah khairan. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم إني أحمدك حمدا يوافي نعمك ويدفع نقمك ويكافئ مزيدك اللهم إنا نسألك ألا تؤاخذنا بما فعل السفهاء منا لا تؤاخذنا بذنوبنا ولا بسيئات أعمالنا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم فرج الكرب عنا وعن المكروبين ونفس الهم عنا وعن المهمومين وكل المساكين وكل الأرامل واليتامى وكل المظلومين وعليك اللهم بالظالمين اللهم خذهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر اللهم شتت شملهم وفرق جمعهم واجعل دائرة السوء عليهم يا رب العالمين أبرم لهذه الأمة أمر رشد يعز به أهل دينك وأهل طاعتك ويذل به أهل معصيتك والصادين عن سبيلك وسبيل رسولك المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم أعد هذه الأمة إلى دينها إلى كتاب ربها وسنة نبيها صلى الله عليه وسلم اجعلها أمة مجددة لهذا الدين محية لسنة سيد المرسلين صلى الله عليه وسلم آمين اللهم آمين أما بعد I would like just to take this opportunity to call upon everyone has a program in these days in any channel that to take just a few maybe minute or maybe at least second to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for in the beginning of every episode we are having in this great channel inshallah ta'ala to remember his Muslim brothers and sisters, the families everywhere in the Muslim world. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on them, to have his relief subhanahu wa ta'ala on those countries, on those towns, on those villages where they have a lot of suffering and struggling. They are losing a lot of their lives. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make every one of us sharing in this important work to be part of this ummah, inshallah ta'ala, as if that we are utilizing ourselves and everything Allah is giving to us to give a little maybe hand for those that are suffering and they are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his help, inshallah azza wa jal. It's great to talk about the issue of bid'ah, especially in these days when we have the Arab revolutions. It's very good for Muslims everywhere, especially jurists and Muslim scholars, fuqaha to try to connect between what they have learned theoretically through the books, through maybe the courses in the universities and college and institute, and through it, and to connect this with what is happening right now in these modern days. What is going on in Egypt right now, what's going on in Tunisia, in Libya, in Syria, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, in India, and Iraq. What is going on everywhere in this world, to connect all our maybe subject and topics with our maybe contemporary issues we are facing in these days. So maybe it's very important, it's very at the same time interesting to talk about bid'ah, innovation, where we are seeing Muslims as if that the Prophet ﷺ is with us today, and he is still giving us this sometimes warnings, sometimes maybe encouragement, sometimes discouragement, sometimes advice, that we should be aware of what could be coming in the next days in the history of Muslim Ummah. When the Prophet ﷺ was directing his Sahaba to stick and to hold to his Sunnah ﷺ, to hold to his Islam, to this deen, because as we said in the last episode, the talking about bid'ah or innovation does not limit itself by this maybe small details in the act of worshipping, that if you pray this, or if you make that dhikr, or maybe if you wear that kind of shirt, it is something beyond that. It is deeper than that, as we explained the last episode, that is regarding you as a Muslim, regarding you as a Muslim ummah, regarding you as carrier of this message. And the whole purpose of what we have said the other episode, and what we are going to talk in details this episode, inshallah ta'ala, that we are the ummah of da'wah, we are the ummah of message. We are here in this universe. After acting like others, we are eating and drinking and getting married and having children, and maybe going to our work and enhance our maybe positions in our maybe work. This is like normal. This is like the ordinary duties of the human beings in this life. But what Allah has distinguished you as a Muslim, with this ummah as a Muslim ummah, is to be the ummah able to carry the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to digest this message, practice it, apply it to itself, then being prepared to deliver this message to others, as we said in all our programs. As everyone knows that we are the people of making da'wah upon everyone in this world, to make everyone share us. We are contributing. We are the ummah of contribution. We give, we take, we exchange, and we try to reach out to every maybe corner of this globe, to just at least comply with Allah's order, Azza wa Jal, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مَنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, بَلِّغُ عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً, just deliver, transfer from me even one verse of Al-Quran Kareem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have the face of someone who's delivering my hadith to brighten his face, make it shining, because the barakah, the blessing of my sayings to others, and deliver his sayings, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, deliver his sunnah to everyone as possible, as much as possible. Even sometimes you are not understanding very well what you are carrying, but you don't claim that you understand everything, but you said, I'm just deliver, I'm just carrying the message, I'm trying just to reach out of you or some other people. So the issue of bid'ah is how to make this ummah more solid, how to make this ummah more stick and hold to its original teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to try to keep its identity, as we said the other episode, and its entity. So now we'll see, inshallah ta'ala, by examples, that this definition does not stop at the corner of, or maybe at the aspect of act or respect, will go beyond that to maybe spread and cover every aspect of life. When we said in this definition that everything has come against or to contradict was being proven to be part of this deen, or part of what being known as a Muslim's matter, Muslim Ummah matter, regarding their deen, regarding their dunya, their life, that should be, if that matter has come to go against or contradicting was being proven to be part of this deen or part of this ummah matter, and that being brought to others as a new way of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a new way of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a new way to have His presence subhanahu wa ta'ala, that should be considered as a bid'ah. So that definition will go beyond the issue of active worshipping, because I said deen or dunya. And I said it is not just the matter of the deen, the matter of the Muslims, ummah. Means that everything has become known as a part of you as a Muslim ummah. Just an example. Anyone knows that part of the Muslims' ummah culture, as a part of this ummah, to be known, that Muslims, they fast in Ramadan. And after they finish Ramadan, they celebrate finishing Ramadan, right? So we see that celebrating the first day after Ramadan is a part of this deen and a part of the Muslim ummah matter. And everyone knows that Muslims, they, in the Eid al-Adha, the 10th day of the Hijjah, after the Muslim, they were successful by the mercy of Allah, they have finished and completed the major part of their Hajj pilgrimage and standing on the mountain of Arafah. They celebrate this kind of worshipping by having the Eid al-Adha. And they slaughter. They have what they call it the udhiyah, sacrifice. And they know that this is part of the Muslim ummah deen and part of the Muslim ummah matter. Everyone knows that Muslim women, they have special way of dressing. Regardless sometimes of the level of this maybe dress, maybe regardless the level of this modesty in the Muslim ummah. But they know that Muslim woman is not like others. It is modesty is part of their culture, part of their maybe habit, part of their way of dress. Everybody knows that Muslim, they don't eat everything. Most things in this life is halal for them, but they have specific reservation on something Allah subhanahu make it prohibited to them. So when they go like to a restaurant, or they go to an airplane, they go to some maybe activities, some celebrations, some maybe parties sometimes, they know that Muslim, they don't eat pork. They're not supposed to be providing like alcoholic drinks. As if that these issues, even is originally like coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has become part of you as a Muslim person, part of you as a Muslim ummah. So we have been known by this. Everyone knows if he goes to the Muslim countries, that he will see like some kind of physical shape of the temple they are gathering themselves to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We call it masjid, mosque. And they know that mosque is different than the way of restructuring maybe the church, or maybe the place of the Jewish what they worship, what they believe that it's God, the synagogue, or these issues, or these maybe temples. So they know that Muslims, they have special way of building their temples to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They call it mosque. Mosque is like part of the Muslim ummah. They know that Muslim, in their mosque, they put some kind of maybe symbolic things to tell everyone that this is Muslim's temple, this Muslim's place of worshiping. They put the crescent above the minaret, above the dome of the masjid, al-qubba. And all of these things has become like part of the Muslim ummah. So when we say that anything has come to change something regarding this deen, but the condition is that it has to be authentically part of this deen, and to be like part of the Muslim ummah matter, should be considered as a innovation, bid'ah. If anyone has come to create something new, to change these two parts, something regarding our matter as a deen, or our matter as a Muslim ummah, we have been complying with this deen, known by this deen, like Pakistani people. You know that the story when India has become, it used to be one state, one country. And Muhammad Ali Jinnah has decided to separate between, to take the whole Muslims and to establish a new republic, a new country, new state. And these people, they have done this for their Islam, for their deen. So Pakistani people, they're known as a Muslim people. And they are very strict in some maybe cultures regarding this deen, this ummah, because they have been known as Muslims by their deen, and they hate, they are very nervous sometimes to someone to take some of this culture from them. We have seen this in America, in different places in this world, because they have considered that this issue has become part of their identity and entity. Now let us go to some details here.
Before we go to the details, can we go to a break?
Break, all right?
Yeah,
no problem.
My dear brothers and sisters, we'll go to a short break, and when we come back, we'll have more details from Professor Saie, inshallah.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Learn Arabic.
As everyone knows, today Arabic is considered as very important, very significant language. How can we produce the sound, the state of voicing, place of articulation, the manner of articulation? So in Arabic, the words which are written are pronounced.
We will learn how to write and pronounce Arabic letters correctly in depth. Explanation via board and presentation with many other important factors.
We have today more than 300 million people speak Arabic language. Not only in the Middle East, but you can find a lot of people speak Arabic language in Asia, Europe, North America, and in South America.
What are you waiting for? Grab your notebook and pencil and stay tuned for Learn Arabic at Huda TV.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind. So the ummah, or the people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are all mankind since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome back to our program, Islamic Law Today. We're continuing to talk with our dear Professor Muhammad Naeem Saie about the issue of bid'ah, innovations in Islam. And in this segment, Professor Saie, inshallah, is going to give us some specific details and some specific examples about certain issues that are common in our lives. And we're going to see if they are issues of innovation in our lives or not, inshallah. I would love for you to join us with your questions and with your comments about today's topic, inshallah. Call us and ask about maybe a specific practice that's happening in your community or in your country, and inshallah Professor Saie will talk about it, and we'll see inshallah if this is an innovation according to the true understanding of Islam, or if it is an accepted practice in Islam. You can give us a call at 002-0238-555 248 or 249, inshallah. You can also send us a message on Facebook at facebook.com/Islamic Law Today, or you can send us an email at islamiclawtoday@huda.tv. I'll remind you again with the phone number 002-0238-555 248 or 249, inshallah. Professor Saie?
Jazakallah khairan. I think that we have about maybe 10 fields of how to see that innovation can come in a form of creating something new. We know that the Prophet ﷺ, when he said, "Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa raddun." Someone is like innovating something new, as if that he is adding, he is taking maybe editing from our matter as Muslims. And we know that Muslims, before they become Muslims, they were like any other people. They have their own cultures, their own habits, their own way of life, celebrating, or sometimes maybe express their sorrow because they lost some of their very, very loves one to them. So they have different way of doing this in their life. When the Prophet came, he started to teach them that you have to start create to yourself a new form of identity. You have to reshape yourself to be matching with your saying that I am Muslim. I am submitting myself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I become the worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to take from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, apply it on myself and deliver it to others. To be the carrier of this message and to be having the happiness in my life, practicing what Allah has said to me and hoping that everyone in this universe will share me in this happiness. So when you look at the field of this innovation, you will see that in maybe 10 different fields. And we said in the definition that if someone has come with the new things against what's being proved to be matter of this deen or matter of this ummah, but in a way of making it as it is a new legislation, a new way of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But suppose someone has come and he did something against what's been proved to be part of this deen or part of this ummah matter, but his intention not to make it as an innovation. He was doing this out of disobedience. He is disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot call his action bid'ah. We call his action sin. Disobedient. He is disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ma'asiyah. It has to come in this form. Let us just give some examples. In the field of the first al-awamir al-manhiyat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us and also has prevented us from doing such a things. The same thing the Prophet in his Sunnah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he commanded us to do such a things and he prevented us to do such a things.
Before we continue, can we take a phone call from
Yes, why not?
Brother Walid from Sudan? Brother Walid, assalamu alaikum. Brother Walid, assalamu alaikum. Looks like Brother Walid has us on hold. Okay, we'll continue with Professor Saie. When Brother Walid comes back on the line, inshallah, please send him over to us.
The Prophet ﷺ, he prohibited us in a certain time to pray on this certain time. And one of these certain times, he prohibited us from praying when the sun is rising. Right? Suppose someone has come and pray on that time, specifically, because he forgot, because he doesn't know. We cannot call his actions bid'ah. But someone, he knows that this is the time where you're not supposed to pray. And said, well, I found that it's very beautiful to pray on this time. He knows that this is prohibition in Islam, prohibited. He cannot do it. The Prophet has prohibited us from praying on this time. And he said, I will pray on this time because I found it is good to pray on this time. It does give me good feelings. He's innovating right now.
So if it's out of ignorance, then it's not an innovation.
Or maybe he forgot, out of mistake. The same thing, the Prophet ﷺ said, don't take the grave of someone, righteous people or prophet, messengers, to make like celebration, like a feast or festival, because other they have made it this way. So you cannot just go to any grave, even his grave, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his part where he is being buried, alayhi salam, in Madinah Munawwara, to make it as a celebration, as a festival, to go around the grave, celebrating, and asking the one in that grave to help you. The Prophet has prohibited us from doing that. Suppose someone, he did something like this, out of ignorance, or he forgot, out of mistake, we cannot call his actions innovation. But when someone is doing that because he feels or he maybe believes that it is good to go around the grave, it does benefit him, it does maybe get him closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means he is doing an action of bid'ah.
What if he's understanding the hadith in a different way than the way that you're explaining it?
Well, you have to go to the scholars. When Muslim scholars, all of them, there's no difference among Muslim scholars. I'm talking about true Muslim scholars. The time of the first generation, the second, the third, the fourth, till our modern days, there's no difference among Muslims that you cannot go around the grave and make tawaf, because this is prohibited in Islam. But just the point here, someone is doing this out of ignorance or mistakes, we cannot call his action bid'ah. it is wrong. And you have to advise. You have to, so someone is doing that out of ignorance, you have to teach him. Out of mistake, you have to remind him. But someone is doing that out of believing that it's good. Now you have to stop. You have to stop. It is innovation. It is bid'ah. You cannot do that.
Brother Walid is back with us, inshallah. Right. Brother Walid from Sudan, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. How you doing, brother?
How are you?
You have a question?
Alhamdulillah.
I want to greet you on to this great program.
Jazakallah khairan.
I want to ask a question to Professor.
You
see some person who call it themselves that they are Salafist, and they if you do anything, they said that this is a bid'ah. For example, when the prayer is finished, and you said to him, "Taqabbal Allah," they said that it is not from the part of prayer. It is a bid'ah, and I think this something will make some person hated them and take a wrong idea about the Islam. I want to ask Professor what the standard of the innovation is.
No.
Jazakallah khair.
Very, very good question, a very important issue. And that goes to the seventh field of the bid'ah. How to define between or differentiate between some action like this to be considered as a bid'ah, or if this happened one day in one place, can it be considered as a bid'ah? So we said in the seventh field of the definition of the bid'ah, or someone has come to insist on making some of the part of this Islam or this Sharia was being like part of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, or something's been authentically proved to be part of our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaching, the Prophet teaching ﷺ, but he turned this, they call it absolute likable issues to be happen. He put a special program to it. He put a special maybe order to it. As if that we are saying if someone meet his brother, Muslim brother, and shake his hand and say, "How are you doing, brother? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen," and he smiled to him. This is good, right? Now if someone said, "I will do that after every time I finish my prayer. Every time I finish my prayer, I have to shake hand, the one next to me praying to me, I have to smile to his face and say, Taqabbal Allahu mink. And I have to make it as a habit. And something has to be continue every prayer. Every time I pray in the masjid, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, I have to do that because I believe it's like sunnah to do that. If someone have this belief and someone does have this practice all the time, make it as like something to be practiced all the time, he's innovating something. But if he tells his brother, sometimes he turned his face and he found someone and he would like to smile in his face and shake his hand and say, Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, brother, taqabbalallahu minka hadi salah, inshaAllah, it is good, nothing wrong with this. But he did it, or he is doing that one time, 2 times, 3 times. He is not doing it to be like part of his maybe prayer, sunan or prayer habit or prayer for actions he has to do after his prayer. So if something happening like this, we have to differentiate between what we consider as a bid'ah, if he's doing it continuously, frequently, or he did it sometimes like one time, every other time, maybe 1 time a week, 1 time a day, because he felt that he has to give some good impression to his brother. He knows him, or that he maybe has some maybe bad feelings about something happened to him. You'd like just to make some maybe good feeling to him. He said, Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, and he shake his hand. He said, Taqabbalallahu mink. This should not be considered as a bid'ah, inshallah ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair. And my dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to remind you to give us a call on the program. And from some of your comments on Facebook and some of the emails that you sent me, I'm sensing a sense that many times when you're watching the program, Professor Saie's words are so deep that you just want to keep on listening to them. And you feel like you don't want to interrupt him when you're speaking, and a few of you told me that, but I want to assure you that Professor Saie would love to have your contributions. SubhanAllah, sometimes maybe a comment that you would say on the program will be something better than what anything that I can say or anything that Professor Saie can say. Inshallah, will benefit a lot of people. And maybe a question that you have is a question that's on a lot of people's minds, and it's something that escaped me or Professor Saie, and it can get answered on the program, inshallah. And as Professor Saie told us many times before, that he believes that this is kind of like a sitting in one of our homes, and that we're sitting together, yes. You, I, and all the brothers and sisters. So I'd like to remind you, inshallah, to keep calling us throughout the program, and don't feel that you're interrupting at all. The phone number is 002-0238-555, 248 or 249, inshallah. Professor Saie?
Yes, so inshallah, let us just make it sure that the audience has got it, inshallah ta'ala, very clear and very well. Part of the bid'ah, when someone is doing something, and that thing is not originally being brought by the Prophet ﷺ, is not being confirmed as to be part of the sunnah, to do it after prayer, after any kind of maybe act of worshipping, but you are doing that kind of action because of some circumstances, some maybe good meaning, some good intention, but you are not doing it frequently to be part of this prayer, to be part of that fast in Ramadan, to be part of this Hajj. So like suppose someone, after he finished the standing on Arafah, he met someone, he said, Assalamu alaikum brother, may Allah taqabbal mink, inshaAllah, may Allah accept this wuquf bi Arafah from you, inshaAllah. You have stood in Arafah, may Allah accept you. And he did it. If someone said, every time you meet someone, stood in Arafah, you have to tell him, taqabbal mink, that turned it to be like part of the bid'ah. The same way as we said after the prayer, inshaAllah. If sometimes you say to your brother, Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, taqabbal minka, it is okay, inshaAllah. But don't make it frequent actions, to be like part of your tasabih after the prayer, your to recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Qul A'udhu bil Falaq, something like this. Make it like not frequently, to be like separated from the action of prayer after you finish your prayer, inshaAllah. Another example does happen a lot. People are asking about this. Just to continue our answer to our beloved brothers from Sudan. Making dua after the prayer. When you are praying in the Jama'ah, we know that if you pray alone, yourself, it is very preferable to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to most of the Muslim scholars, majority of them, as I just indicated that in my books. It is very preferable, very likable to raise your hand and ask Allah after you finish your mandatory prayer, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, or anything like this. You are making dua by yourself, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anything you need from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
This is after making taslim.
After making your taslim, after you make this very famous dhikr after the prayer, Allahumma anta as-salam wa minka as-salam, and other dhikr, you raise your hand and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'd like to finish the whole dhikr being brought by the Prophet, and then you make the dua, it's okay. But the point here that if you make that dua after you pray, after you finish your prayer alone, or pray with the Jama'ah, and then you turn yourself and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, nobody is hearing you, this is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is preferable, it's likable according to most Muslim scholars. What about if the Imam turned himself after he finished a prayer and he started to make dua after each prayer? Let us say that after Dhuhr, after Asr, after Maghrib, this is like the habit of this Imam in this masjid, that every prayer he prayed, he finished with the congregation, he has to turn himself, his body, and start to make dua to everyone. Everyone has to raise his hand and say Ameen after his dua. If someone does something like this frequently, to be like part of the Jama'ah prayer, that he is all the time, frequently making this is thus goes in the field of bid'ah. But if someone, because he found that some people in his congregation need a dua, he's been told that someone is sick at his home, someone just passed away, the mother of this person, he used to pray with the Imam, and he said, let us raise our hand and ask Allah to have mercy on this person who has passed away, to cure that maybe patient person been told about. It is okay, inshaAllah. So if he does something like this occasionally, not frequently, it will be okay. But if he does something like this to be part of the prayer, to be part of the habit of this imam, habit of this masjid, that will go to the area of innovation, because he creates something new. The Prophet, he never did something like this, alayhi salam, to make it like every prayer that he has to turn himself and to make dua to everyone. He used to turn himself, alayhi salam, and leave when the spot he was praying on, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and make dua, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allahumma tassalam minka salam. Sometimes he stood and he remained in his place to ask the Sahaba, any one of you did see any vision, need to be explained, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But was not his habit, was not his frequent habit to make dua to everyone after his prayer. So if some imams, they choose to make dua to the audience, to the congregation, after finishing this prayer, like one time a day, because of some kind of maybe need. As we said, a patient person, someone passed away, some maybe a tragedy is taking place in Syria, an example, and he would like to raise his hand and said, people, my Muslim brothers, you know what is going on in Syria right now, let's raise our hand and ask Allah. It's okay, inshallah ta'ala. It's not bid'ah here. For any reasons, in Libya and Tunis and flood in Bangladesh, raise his hand to ask Allah what the mutual dua to Allah will be okay, inshallah ta'ala. Does not go under the definition of the bid'ah. But if he keep doing that every time, every prayer, that means he is creating, he's innovating something was not happening in his time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was not part of his deen, was not part of the matter of this ummah, that would be going in the field of bid'ah.
Inshallah. We'll take a short break, inshallah, and when we come back, we'll have more examples and more details about innovations in Islam. We'd love for you to join us on our phone lines, inshallah, when we come back. Stay with us, inshallah.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Ask Hoda.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to a new edition of Ask Huda.
I have 2 questions.
Please go ahead. You can read it in Arabic, and you can also understand the meaning in your own language. The different tafsir and the interpretation of the meanings of the Quran are available in almost every language that exists on earth by the grace of Allah. The water of Zamzam is for whatever intention you drink it with. Salih from Egypt, his father has the way, and he asked about how can he help him. Very good question.
Can we give a zakat to any of the dawah centers?
The ibadah, or the act of worship, is a part of the unity of
In this program, inshallah, we'll be discussing the major sins in Islam, the way that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had taught us. Why the neighbor does not care about their neighbor anymore? Why does the father does not care about the son anymore? Why does the mother does not care about her daughter anymore? There's major sins that we need to be very far away in our lives, so we could get the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obtain the pleasure of Allah azza wa jal. As long as we commit those major sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not be too pleased from us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish those who commit those major sins. Keep away from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had forbidden, and you'll be the closest worshipper to Allah azza wa jal. It is our duty for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep away from what Allah azza wa jal had forbidden. As when we commit those sins, especially those major sins, remember you are displeasing your Lord, and you are bringing upon the curse and the anger of your Lord upon you.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome back to our program, Islamic Law Today. We are live here today and would love to have your phone calls with us as we are talking about the issue of innovations in Islam. Our phone numbers are 002-0238-555. 248 or 249. Give us a call and ask about any specific situation that you may be going through or that is prominent or really visible in your community, and Professor Saie, inshallah, will answer it, and we'll see if it is an innovation or if it's not. Professor Saie, I have a question for you. The issue of birthdays in Islam, is it an innovation to celebrate birthdays? And does it matter if it's a child's birthday, maybe if my child is 2 or 3 years old, or if it's an adult's birthday?
Yeah, because the child is 3 years old, he will not maybe remember this, but you remember it and you will celebrate it, you will be happy for that, as if that you are making that for yourself, not for your baby. One of the field of the innovation to make it, as we said, covering every aspect of life. Now, let us say this before we give that example, inshallah, and explain about this question. When we are making the wide range of covering to the definition of bid'ah, does not mean that we are making it hard on Muslims. We're just trying to give an example that Islam is not just in a corner of the masjid. Islam is not just aspect of when you are fasting Ramadan or making Hajj. Islam, as you know, and everyone knows, Islam a way of life. Every part of your life, every aspect of life is a part of your Islam, your deen. So it has to become a part of your Islam, part of your life when you are introducing yourself to others. Introducing yourself to yourself and others by the way you are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way you are dealing with others, the way you are maybe getting married, the way you are divorcing, the way you are celebrating in the happiness maybe days, and then maybe you are sometimes expressing your sorrow in some sadness maybe time. Everything in your life you are expressing that you are part of this ummah, you are part of this deen, and this deen is part of you, has become like one person. So this is the meaning of like covering aspect of life, not to make it hard on people, but to understand that it is like the issue of identity and entity is not just the issue of, as people they understand in a very narrow way, very narrow vision. It's just maybe stays in the corner of masjid or maybe prayer or fasting or something like this. What you have asked for, something just to emphasize about the meaning, how Islam has come to cover every aspect of life. When the Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, and just to insist again and again about that meaning, the Prophet ﷺ, he was in his mission to reshape the people who had become Muslims in this new dress, a new form, new formula, a new frame of Islam, which is with its meanings from inner of it. He found alayhi salam the Sahaba celebrating one day, the people of Medina, and he asked them, what is this day for? They said, we are celebrating this day. We have our habit to celebrate this day. We celebrate, we do a lot of things just to be happy about this day. And the Prophet, he did not let it go. He did not confirm, he did not accept for the people of Medina after become Muslims and after have introduced their Islam, after they declare to Allah, to everyone that they have become Muslims, to keep something from their actions in the time of the Jahiliyyah, the time of before become Muslims. He said, Allah has replaced you, Allah has exchanged you with something better than that. 2 days, 2 Eid, Eid al-Fitr wa Eid al-Adha. So the Prophet cancelled, abandoned this day, and told the Sahaba, you have 2 days instead of 1 day. Day of the Jahiliyyah, you've been compensated with 2 days of Islam. So he cancelled the day of Jahiliyyah, and he said, no, we have 2 days instead, inshallah ta'ala. From that moment, the Sahaba never celebrate anything in their life till the Prophet has passed away, alayhi salam, but what the Prophet has mentioned to them, 2 days, Fitr and Adha.
Can I interrupt you here for a second and ask you a question that just came to my mind, and we'll go back to the issue of birthdays. Now, you're saying that the Prophet ﷺ introduced or told them that you have 2 days, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, and you should abandon this other day that you're celebrating. How about as Muslim countries today after these Arab and Muslim revolutions? Obviously by next year, for example, Egyptians are going to be celebrating on January 25th because of the new date of the revolution. And many other Arab countries and many other Muslim countries are celebrating days of independence right now. in whatever way or shape or form that they're celebrating, but there is some sort of celebration. Would that be considered bid'ah?
Could be. Could be, because one of the criteria of this ummah to keep its identity and entity and its habit and its culture related to their Islam and their deen, the way they have received it from the Prophet ﷺ. The matter of holidays is being known for Muslim countries because they have this ideology, they have this philosophy. They want to express their feelings toward a rare meaning or good meanings. And they have this way of insisting on that meaning, so they make holiday. An example, they want to express their respect to mothers because they don't have this strong relationship inside their families. We know all of this, the family in Western countries, unfortunately, because many reasons. So they want just to express their respect, their love toward their mother, their father, the whole family, their loved one. So it's hard to create holidays. So they call it like Father Day, Mother Day, sometimes maybe what they call it Valentine Day, because they want to insist on a meaning they are missing.
Thanksgiving Day, Christmas
in their
Day.
life. Muslim, they don't have this, because Muslim is part of their deen, part of their belief, part of their practice, to give mother, father, the whole family, the loved one, its respect, its right, the really way of treating them, the best way Allah has commanded us subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we don't have Mother Day. We don't celebrate a Mother Day. We celebrate every day in our moment, in our life, how to treat our mother. وَقَدْ رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعُودَ لَوْلَدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Every moment we have to remember that this our mother, this our father, we have to treat them very well, kindly, as Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, as if that every moment is a holiday for us. But for them, they have different attitude, different mentality, different system of life. They are missing, really. I am not doubting their feelings. They are honest in their feelings. They want to respect their mother. They want to celebrate something to prove that they love their mother or their father. But because they are losing, they are missing this in their practical life because of many reasons in their life. The system of their life, the system of their maybe teaching, education, everything has broken the family to keep the father away from his children, mother from her children. They got together occasionally, and Muslim culture and Muslim belief and Muslim practice, they don't have this. Family is very strong. I hope that this family will stay strong, inshallah ta'ala. So that way that they are innovating this kind of holidays, we said, no, we cannot do like what they are doing, because the Prophet has told us before, you are going just to connect between the definition of bid'ah and what is beyond the bid'ah, the philosophy of bid'ah, when he said, alayhi salam, you are going to follow step by step the others before you. Even they go to that narrow, maybe corner, the meaning here of their life, creating something or doing something, you are going to follow them. And we are doing the same thing. We have imitating them. We are imitating them. We have imitated them. We are trying every time to try to bring from them, regardless, this is like deen or dunya, just to practice in our life, because we are missing ourselves. We are about to lose our identity, God forbid, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we don't accept celebrating the birth day party. We say in a very strong way it is innovation. It is against the understanding of the definition of the bid'ah. According to the Prophet ﷺ says, according to the Muslim scholars' definition long time ago, and if anyone does celebrate that, he should not do that. But how could we now make some kind of alternative things? Because people, they are asking us many times, if you say that you cannot celebrate birthday for your kid, for your child, but your child sometimes needs some kind of maybe feelings of care, that as if that you are telling him, I do care about you, my kid, I love you, my child, so that way I'm doing this celebration. Don't we have any other things maybe to give that feelings? Yes, we have many things. You could choose any day, choose any time to say, I would like to make a special occasion for my child, not frequently, not every specific day in this year, any time of the year. any time of the month, any time of the week. I'd like to take my son now to Kentucky Fried Chicken, take him to like Disneyland, and give him some sweet things, have some good lunch, something like this. I'm telling my child, I love you, my child. Or bring his friend, his maybe student in his maybe school, and one day, not frequently, this time, in this month, gather all of them and make a good breakfast, make a picnic for them. You are open to do anything like this. Or bring some gift to my child, my kid, reward him, give him some money, take him any place, to the zoo. So it's a very wide range of maybe choices to you to express your feeling toward your kid, not just specifically to have this maybe holiday because you are imitating others. As the Prophet said, don't do that. Don't imitate them. Keep your identity. Keep your entity. You have two holidays in your year, Eid al-Fitr wa Eid al-Adha. For other meanings you'd like to maybe practice in your life, you have a wide range of maybe method and tools to practice that. You don't have to go the other way.
Jazakallah khairan, Professor Saie. As always, time runs out really fast with you on this program. So inshallah we'll continue next week.
Well, it's very important, inshallah, to continue for others feel, inshallah ta'ala, very maybe sensitive issues does take a place in America, in Europe, regarding the future of bid'ah. Maybe next week, inshallah.
Inshallah, next week we'll talk about more details and give more examples to our viewers, inshallah. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Inshallah, we'll see you next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go